we have a problem. Hello everybody and welcome back to Moneyball. We are in a precarious state right now. This episode is absolutely huge for the series. Anything could happen. So we play Watford next and Brighton. Remember, we play Liverpool last game of the season, so that game is out. We have to almost factor in Liverpool as if it's a non-starter. There's a really good chance we won't win that game. So we absolutely have to try and get a result in the next two games. We have to. Now the league table looks like this. Now you might think, Jack, 7 points clear, 3 games to go. Don't panic yourself. What's the problem? This is the problem. We play Watford next. If we were to lose to Watford, they then go to 26. We stay on 30. That's only 4 points, right? They then play Burnley next, one of the other worst teams in the division, so they could win. We play Brighton at home, which we could get a result in, but you never know. Let's say we draw or lose that. All of a sudden, going into the last game of the season, they play Reading. They play the worst team in the league, and we play Liverpool away. So we lose this game against not Watford here. We could go down, like quite easily go down. And Oakland, we have a problem. We are in trouble. Now, since we last met, Ryan Yates got injured and missed every single game. And that's been a monumental problem. If I was to look at the squad now, I would say the one big regret I have is I didn't strengthen central midfield well enough in hindsight. And it's definitely showed. I think even with him and Piero, like Ryan Yates is probably the only central midfielder that I think is a good enough central midfielder to stay in the division. Every other player is nowhere near good enough that plays in there, especially when we play Kasper's a good fullback, good backup fullback. He is not a starting central midfield player by any stretch. We are in a huge amount of trouble. We play Watford away. I've done squad talks and everything throughout these games. This has been a monumental collapse from the team. And then to make it matters worse, we play Watford on the Monday for no apparent reason and play Brighton on the Friday for no apparent reason. So we get a 4-day gap. What's going on here? So, actually, what's the goal difference like? Oh, thank God, at least that's in our favour. Not that it's going to matter too much, I don't think, because if they beat us, let's just say that, they go 4 points behind. If we then drew to Brighton, we go 5 points clear, but then they win, that goes to 2. I mean, we'd have to then, if they won, we'd have to draw at Liverpool. Like, the only way goal difference is really going to matter is if we end up getting a draw at Liverpool last game of the season. It's the only way I can see it playing, and that's probably not going to happen. So, I'm not stress you how important this game is. What we need is a Ryan Ledson red card moment. And that's all don't forget, all we need is a draw. A draw ends everything, because it stops them getting points on us. And we step, because as you can see here, Leeds are actually above Watford, but they're technically already, they are mathematically already down, because somebody has to get a point here between us and Watford in this game in hand. So, oh my goodness, this is just pressure. And oh my God, 3 of the back 4 are suspended and Yates is injured. Oh my God, what are we going to do here? This is where Moneyball becomes a bit, not irrelevant, but it takes sort of a back seat here, because there aren't many options anyway now. You're playing next player in that's been brought in to do a job. And statistically, at some point, they've done a job well enough to be in this squad and play in these positions in this tactic, right? At some point, they've done it. So now they have to do it when the pressure's on. So Kasper, who's injured, is going to have to go in at right back straight away. Incidentally, I've been messing around with the left back. Whenever it's not complete wing back, it gets a better result, like better match rating. They don't play any better. They don't get any more. They don't play any better. They don't get any more involved. They don't look any better, but they get a better match rating. So I don't know if that helps us. I don't know, but it's going to have to be. Well, there's not really a choice about who's going to play, because there's a suspension there as well. Ryan Yates is out. I mean, do you play Kasper right back and then play, I guess, Fernandez CDM? Actually, William, you're going to be playing anyway at centre back. That's not too big of a deal there. Harlan Grant's not fit enough to start, obviously, so he's got to come out. Ben Diaz goes in, we do that. That's okay. Could we change these two maybe, do you reckon? You must be able to dribble with it, right? Because this is great. I'm going to put Ben Diaz, I think. I'll keep it the way it has been for now. Shane Nunley's also been out for a lot of games. He's only just come back, so that's a big positive for us. That's the best thing we've got. There aren't really many other players to play. Jacob Brown, I think, has to be on the bench, because he's the only player that can come off the bench up front that could score as a striker. So it's huge. This could be the end of Moneyball right here, because if we were to go down, we could get sacked. Like, the way the game works, you don't know. So it was nice knowing all of you. I hope you enjoyed the series to this point. Wow, this is huge, isn't it? It's a big moment in the save in the series. This video will be played back whenever we finish this series. I'm hoping at some point in the future, I'm hoping that there's something happens in this game where we will replay that moment for eternity. And there's like a big goal or something here. But I have a feeling just we've been so bad. The only positive to this, right? You saw how bad our fixtures are, right? Look at this absolutely tragic performance from us. Watford, on the other hand, have said, oh, we've got your boss, don't worry about that, we can match that. So, yeah, they're just as bad as us. They haven't scored in a long time. They don't concede as many. They have done recently, though. Oh, come on, just a draw, but they are at home. Oh, just a draw. The injuries have destroyed us. Like, Colin Grant, losing him was terrible, and losing Brian Yates, they are two players that the next in lines were nowhere near good enough, and that's what's really destroyed us as well. Oh, I can't believe how big this game is. This is huge. It's just such a big game. I don't know if we're ready for this. We're ready for this. The changes. I'm looking at changing him to an attack duty, but I think for this game, we can't be messing around with this now. Oh my god. Here we go. Nunley, William are back, thank God. Oh wow. Assistant manager says it's time to put an end to this poor run of form. We've got to make it count. We're going to watch this in extended because this match is the huge one, really. Like, it all goes down to this, really. This could be a really long episode, by the way, because there is the end of season review, which I don't know if I'll do that this episode or whether I'll break it into two because I just don't know how long it's going to take. Wow. I don't think I've ever been so nervous for a game on camera since we've been doing content. Oh, how fast do we want this? Right, let's go there. Extended will do. Can't do more extended. Highlight early on. Nunley. Jones over. Fernandez has got a yellow card. He's suspended for the next game. We've got 3 yellow cards in 30 minutes. That ain't good. Or 12 minutes. Oh no, it's a highlight. It's a highlight for Watford. I can't even watch it. Kalu has it. They go on the right hand side. He's going to cross it to the back post. It's crossed in. Lumley recovers it. It's a corner. It's a corner, Barnsley. This is the only thing we've got. Come on, Lumley. Whip it in. William. No, Payero's going to get to it and he's going to mess it up. He always does. Oh, the attack's over. That's so close. It's going to conclude. I don't think it's going to be a chance for us, though. Left back gets it. Plays it to Nunley, who's going to lose the ball. It's a counter press. Diaz, come on! The left wing back, the complete wing back goes and counter presses, wins the ball, plays it in. Diaz scores 1-0 to Barnsley. Come on, boys. Oh, I love the Moneyball. Come on, Bradrick plays it in. Nunley gets it. It's the counter press. Watch this. That's the only reason we win this. He goes, no, cheers, boss. I got this. And Big Ben Diaz, who doesn't come deep to get ball anymore, scores, make it 1-0. Come on. Yeah, so it's gone out to Bradrick on the left-hand side. He's got the ball, plays it to Ben Diaz. Payaro, please! No! It's this bollock. Wow. I can't deal with this. Do you know what's funny? I find Foot Manager way more stressful and it makes me way more angry and gives me way more stress than real life coaching does for my own teams. Like, I don't know what it's about because it's a game, I think, and because there's certain elements you just can't control. I can't just speak to a player like properly and have control over it. Like, I think that's because of that. Like, you have a sort of certain lack of control even more than you would do in real life. Oh no, don't get your hand down, left back. Just play this. Oh no, João Pedro's in. I don't know what I've just seen. Highlight Nor to Cruz to Jones to Nor. No, I can't watch it. I can't. Isaiah Jones, Payero. I tell you what, mate, I'm gonna be. Let's just carry on. Left centre back Nunley. Use the left back. He's there. He wants it. Cruz wants it. Cruz, please. You've got to be Joe. What is it with these fucking dinky chips at the foot? Not gonna complain. We're gonna keep going. Referee's finally decided to put one of their players. It's a highlight right before half time. Please don't give this away. Ben Diaz turns him, stays on the ball. Ben Diaz gives it away. It's going to be a counter press. There it is. No. Oh, we nearly got him. We're going to stay on the ball, though. Right back once. Oh, okay. End of the highlight. Wow. Half time. Right. Things are going on, but I know you're capable of even better. Is that the right one to do? I think it is. I think it's positive but focused. You know what I mean? Like don't get complacent. Just it creates a negative feeling. It creates like a bit of tension. I like for Barnsley, Ben Diaz, Bradrich. Oh my Christ. Get up, centre back. Mercal, give it to somebody who can play, because you definitely can't give it to Diaz. Diaz, play it to somebody else. No. Left back, don't get sent off. Oh, we've got so many yellow cards on the pitch. Oh, it's the Matrix. It's inevitable. As Agent Smith said to Nia, it is inevitable, Mr. Anderson. This is gonna. Oh, that is the sound of inevitability. There's so many players in yellows. Nunley shouldn't. I shouldn't really say this, but Nunley shouldn't get sent off. Nor should the centre back. It's going to be the left back if anybody, because of the areas he gets himself into. Bowler can play left back. I don't think I can change it yet, though. I think it's too early to make like a tactical change because of yellow cards. Zaya Jones would normally be the first I would take off on a 6.4. I'd move Nunley to the right and move Callum Robinson probably to the left. That's probably the change. He's offside. That's never going to count. I'm thinking maybe around just before the 60th minute, we'll do that change. I don't really want to make a change, but if I could have got to. Jones is going to come off, Robinson's going on the left. I know he's not fit, but I don't trust anybody else. I like Piero, gives it to left centre-back to the keeper. Nunley, what are you doing? Gives it to William. Piero, we've got a fresh left wing if you want to use him. Cruz dribbles through. Ben Diaz scores! Come on! Yes, come on, Barnsley! If any Barnsley season ticket holders are watching, feel free to send me down like a t-shirt or a jumper or something. I'd absolutely love to have one. And we get the goal. Big Moneyball Barnsley. Billy Bean Oakland Days absolutely love it. Ben Diaz goes through. Says, sorry, boss. Remember what we said about Ben Diaz originally? If you go back through the episode, when I originally looked at him, he scored perfectly on all the stats I was looking for. And the only reason I didn't like him when I signed him was because he had come deep to get ball. But he's finally come up trumps in the absolute most important and clutch game he could. Oh, it's unreal. There's nobody on that bench where I look at and I go, yeah, I trust you. Nobody. The only one is on the pitch. And the only reason I didn't trust him completely is because he's been out for so long. Time wasting, get that up, please. Come on, boys. Highlight, Piero. If they score, I'll make 2 changes and do fire up as the last shot. That's the last thing we can do. Nunley has it. Nunley, surely to see it out. Piero, don't fuck it up again. Oh, he's ballsed it. Diaz, Ismaj, Fernandez, Mercal. Just get off the ball. He is useless. He's useless. Get off the ball. Oh my. Wow. I like last kick of the game. Oh, can you imagine if it was like 2-2 right now? Can you imagine the rage I'd be going through right now? Omiarov, the Russian, shoots. He shoots penalty, scores. It's time, referee. Come on. Don't you dare. Come on. It's an instant highlight. Come on. No. Send it. Yes! There it is. Barnsley Football Club stay in the Premier League at the first time of asking. And in the most pressure games away from home in the worst run of form I think I've ever had on FM. And I can't remember ever a time when I've manager of a team and it's gone that badly for that long. And we are so fortunate, really, that other teams below us were just as bad as us, or if not worse. So, right, let's quickly just say, well, nobody were officially saved, and let's save the game. That's the most important thing, is we save the game, save the recording, everything's saved. Right, save the game. I'm going to save the recording, back in a sec. That was tense. Oh, wow. There are some players that need to take full credit for that. Like, some of those players really did save us because some of those other players... But then on top of those players, there's me, and they should be thanking me for this. But, you know, no, it's... oh, wow. Ben, Berriton, Diaz, thank you. Thank you. Played for a great club in Nottingham Forest. I'm Piero. I tell you what, mate. I tell you what. Missing that glorious chance on the... wow. Oh, Piero. That block that the keeper made, Lumley made, and then they shot, and it just sort of curved wide. Like, oh no. Off. Yeah, don't get your hand down left back. Just play this... Oh no. João Pedro's in. That could have gone so differently. That was draining. Well, the good thing about that is we can now do this all in one episode, because what we'll do now is I'll play the Brighton Liverpool game off camera because there's nothing to play for now at this point. Extra couple of million if we can finish up Burnley, but that's it. So I'll do that off camera, and then we'll come back. We'll do the end of season review. We'll do the attributes review. We'll do all of that now in this episode, which, yeah, I wasn't sure if that was going to come in this episode or not, but yeah, I'll do that off camera now. We'll come back, and we'll discuss what an incredible moment that was. Wow. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you thought of that. Thank you, Ben Diaz. Thank you for so Ben Diaz, I would say. Cruz, Nunley, Ismaj. He actually played pretty well. He got a couple of good interceptions and blocks in early on. And I'd say Lumley. And Casper, to be fair, because he had a pretty good match train. All of those played really well in that game. Callum Robinson came on and didn't disgrace us, so that's about all he could do, really, because of the situation of the game and the pressure that was on in the game. Well, those boys come up trumps, and that is the Moneyball system worked. We achieved We target, I think it was 14th to 12th. We're going to finish just below it, but not all of our players really are good enough for that. So we've got a terrible defensive record. We know exactly what we need to improve. It's not necessarily just the back four, though. I think the goalkeeper is a problem, and the central midfield. Those are the two positions I'm actually more worried about than centre back. Funnily enough, even though defensively we've been terrible, I think those are the problem. And maybe the left back role, because it consistently scores such a low average rating, or just a low rating per in the games. I think that might be calculating against us a little bit. So I need to have a look at that and definitely mess around with that. Yeah, I played inverted wing back there. I played wing back attack. They all got consistently better match ratings, but were less involved. And like there, he counter presses and wins it. I don't know if any of the other roles do what that does. If I could have wing back attack but run from position, that'd be the most ideal thing. But you can't have that. So that's going to do it. And I'll see you in a second then for the end of season review. We did it. We finished the season and we managed to finish on 17th, just surviving relegation by the skin of our teeth. Now, this can be quite a long episode because there's so much I want to get through. We're going to have to look at the end of season review. We're going to then look at the attribute reveal that's going to come up here. And then we're going to look at some stats as well. We'll look at the data hub to see just where we went wrong. I know, like, defensively we're bad. That's obvious. 83 goals conceded. Not quite as bad as Reading, 101, but it's still pretty bad. And goals scored was okay, but nothing amazing, right? So we're going to go through a lot of stuff anyway. I'm not going through too much in the team detail. I actually want to look at the data hub specifically and see exactly where some of the stuff was going wrong. But in terms of finances, by the way, we just got 20 million again. We're 20 million in the profit, and we haven't really got the big influx of money we're going to get next season. Now, that is last year's budget. I hope to God they're going to give us one for this year. Now, I'm just going to click through anyway and get to the end of season review. It's been a few weeks since we mathematically stayed up, so end of season review anyway. The new arrivals. Let's have a look at this. Now, it's going to go off of average rating, isn't it? That's the concern with that, because Lumley gets it. He did well in the end. I'll give it to him. Like, he was good. But I don't know, what would you say? For me, Ben Diaz was an essential signing of the season. Ola Aina was a pretty good right back, even though he didn't score that good in his overall stats. I thought he was quite consistent. I never felt like he was a problem for us. Piero, I mean, although I feel like that he would have been a good backup central fielder that could have come in every now and again, but I just think that to be the actual starter, he probably was like just 17th place good enough for us to stay up. So I think him at centre midfield for 850 grand is probably a very good signing, to be honest. Value for money, that's one of the best ones we made. Colin Grant was affected till his injury. There's quite a few good ones in there. The absolute standout one, yeah, I don't know, it's hard. I'd say Piero probably, just because of the fact that he just was good enough to keep us up in the central midfield. Season's results, so we finished 17th. So we finished 17th on 34 points. Wow, that was so close. I'm supposed to remember goal of the season, a 5-1 defeat. Piero, there you go, sounds about right. Match number 5-2 win at home to Watford. That probably helped to keep us up because they're one of the teams we're looking at and Reading. So we smashed the teams in and around us, which was interesting, which probably helped us quite a lot in that sort of running towards the end. Finances, so all of this should have gone up. Match day commercial retail has gone down. I don't really know how that's happened. Shirt sales, Ben Diaz. Yeah, I mean, after that, you should be give him a statue. Why not? Absolute legend. Nunley, Robinson, Cruz, and Brown. Okay. Yep, fair enough. How we lined up Cruz and Diaz. Yep, Jones and Nunley with the wingers, definitely. That is two central midfielders. They've got that pretty much correct, except for the right centre back. But apart from that, it's pretty good. Accolade, fans player of the season, Joe Lumley. Okay, young player of the season is Nicholas. I mean, they've got to be taking the piss here. Not only was he not good, but he's 24 years old. Young player of the season. Oh, absolutely no chance. Signing of the season, apparently it's Joe Lumley. Okay. Goal of the season player, we saw that already. Top goal scorer. I mean, record breakers, good nothing. We broke no records this season. I've never seen that blank before there. What's going on here? Assist was Nunley with 11. Okay, that's pretty good. Match awards, Nunley with 2. Highest average rating was keeper with 7.0. That is bad. And that is your end of season review. So Barnes' league history in the Premier League has been 2 seasons. One in 97-98 where they finished 19th on 35 points. We got 1 point less than that season, but we stayed up. That's what matters. Top, as I always say, you know, somebody's dominating the opposition. You know, what does it say in the top left of the screen? You know, when you watch it on TV, what does it say? Top left. Top left. It's only the score that matters, and it's only the league table that matters in this case. I negotiate this at all. Like, defensively solid football, I don't want that. And I don't want... What else don't I want? Oh, the sign young players is gone, so... No, they want that in, okay, it's fine. Have that in. just don't restrict me on my signings. I don't care. That's fine with me. Looking ahead to next season, I'm confident we can avoid relegation. That should go down well. It has not gone down well. What fit? We all know we're favourites for relegation for a reason. No insist. I don't care. And Navarro is going for that defeatist mentality. That's more like it. Here we go. £42.91 million and 1.5 million wage budget. That's monumentally different. Look at that. The wage budget's got up by 500 grand nearly. So I think we were already, 40 or 50 in debt in our wage budget. Now we're 437 the other side. So that's impressive. That's some serious money there. That's good. Really, really good for us. We'll go into details about who we're going to sign, I think, at the back end of this episode. And I'll be going into more next episode because we're going to have to target some teams again, obviously. I'm going to transfer my pages that I use for recruitment. I'm going to transfer them into an Excel where it can automatically just calculate for me, which will save me a lot of time. There's some basic formula to add the 3 together, divide it by 3 at the end. So that's what I'll probably do off camera between the 2 episodes, actually. So if I'm going to do that and I haven't done it yet, I may as well wait to do players in the next episode. And we'll just do, I think, an attributes reveal for now. And we'll have a quick look at some players that we might bring in, and we'll definitely look at some players we're going to get rid of, and we'll do the attributes reveal. So I think let's start off with an attributes reveal. Let's do that first, the exciting thing. And let's see what what brilliant footballers we've been using for the season. Let's have a look then and see. I'm excited about this. I mean, I know some of them are going to be what they're roughly going to be like, but like Cruz, I have no idea. I can guess what I think Cruz is going to be like based on how he plays and the coach reports, but that could be anything. Fran Navarro, I have no idea. Theub, it's just how bad of a winger is he going to be? Piero, I don't really know. This guy, I have no idea. Casper, no idea. Nicholas, there's some of these I have no idea, so this will be interesting. So I'll see you in a second then for that. Here we go then, attributes reveal. Are you ready for this? I cannot wait. I'm so excited to see all these players. So we're going to start off going top to bottom. So we're going to go strikers backwards and see what we've been dealing with, what absolutely brilliant footballers we've been using this season. What have we got here? We're going to look at Wamao Cruz. Now, what do we think? I'm not too sure what we're going to get from this. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now, I thought he'd be slightly quicker and slightly better dribbling, to be honest. Like, he's almost like a prototype, sort of bigger striker for us. He's good in the air, he's good at heading, good at accuracy with his heading. And he's not too bad in the air. Okay. I don't know. I'm a bit surprised about that. Like, he's pretty well all-rounded, actually. He's quite a good player. I think him and Diaz are going to be quite similar. That's my only concern. They're going to be very similar, I think, when we look at Diaz. But, yeah, that's not bad. How much you pay for him? 5.5. He's 24. Yeah, because he's 24. I don't think he's going to get too much better than this. So it could be worth us cashing in, but we don't really need the wages. Like, we've got so much extra wages now. So, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good, though. I'm pleased with that. And Diaz. Okay. He's much worse at finishing and like composure and stuff. I thought he'd be slightly better at that. And be slightly more agile, better dribbling. Just from the coach reports, really. So, yeah, you can see there, like, I don't think I'd keep both of those two this year. Cruz and him, because they're both very, very similar. And if we could, like, take 10 million for one of them and get off the wage bill, although the wages aren't that important at the moment, I think I would take that because they're both so similar. Harlan Grant. I thought he was like really quick, like double 17s quick, like 17 acceleration, 17 pace. And he can't even finish. Oh, he's terrible. Like Premier League starting striker, the fact that he scored goals for us is a surprise to me. Alan Robinson. Oh my, you've got to be joking. I've been using him like a starting level winger. I thought he was much better at dribbling in particular. I thought he was like really good with the ball. Like a League One player. Championship at most. Wow, that's surprising. How much you spend on him? 9? Not too much. That's crazy. No wonder we've been struggling. He did get one really good finish on the left-hand side. I think only like a forward could have finished, but here we go then. Big one. Fran Navarro. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Fran Navarro. What are we going to see here? This is a complete unknown. Ready? It's all right. He's just not... He'd be good as a single striker, like, because he's pretty well-rounded. But like in a two-man strike force, though, that we play, he could probably play as our left striker, where he's not asked to run in behind and be the express pace player, because he's not that quick. He's all right. He's got a bit of pace. He's not lightning, but he definitely can't dribble. So I'd say single striker like a 4-3-3 is great, but not for us in our system. It just doesn't really fit what we do. And especially if we've got 2 players on the left side anyway. Yeah, I'm definitely going to sell him. But for 350 grand, and now he's worth 9 million, that's going to be an excellent signing and hopefully a big profit for us. Sada Thube. Okay. He's about what I expected. I thought we'd have 16 acceleration, but he's about what I expected. 500 grand, good signing, 500 grand. We'll sell him probably in the summer if we can. So he's not going to be good enough to stay in the Premier League, but he's all right. Pay Nunley. Do you know what? He's about as quick as I thought he would be. I thought he'd have more pace, but he's actually But he's actually better all-rounded than I thought he was. I thought he'd be just pace and nothing else. That's actually not too bad. What an excellent signing, because he saved us, really. We needed one player in that sort of profile of just pace that can dribble with the ball. He's actually quite effective with it. He's not too bad in these areas. I thought he'd be like just pace and nothing else. So for 2.5 million, that's a really good signing. That's an excellent signing, that is. He'll be with us again next year. See, now I know what he looks like. He'll play on the left, not the right, because he cuts inside from both wings. Do you know what? I should have known that anyway. But I didn't have anybody else to play on the right, so I sort of had to use him. But I think from now on, I'll probably use him on the left and let him cut in, because he's not as bad technically as I thought he was. Josh Bowler. He's much better than I thought he was. Like, much better. I brought him in to play left back as a backup left back because he didn't play there at all. I sort of shied away from it. I sort of shied away from playing him there a little bit, but he's 5'11", he's good enough in the air. If we just work on his defending a little bit, he's actually not a bad backup left back at all. If we can get a third choice left back in there, I probably would sell him because he's worth taking the money for at this point, but he actually would have been probably a better option at left back. I don't know, free transfer, so there you go. Isaiah Jones, I'm expecting pace, like 16s. Close, and he's significantly worse defensively than I thought. I thought he could play right back, wing back he can play. So, yeah, not very agile. Championship level right back, I would say. Not great. Jacob Brown, who was a Barnsley player previously, and he is not great. What is it? He's got 9 finishing. Like, what is he? He can't really pass. He's not an essential fielder. He's not really a player, is he, anywhere? He's really a right back. Just. He's a bit of an in-between player, isn't he? We'll definitely sell him because he doesn't really fit to anything that we do. Ryan Yates, yeah. I knew Ryan anyway because I followed Forest, so I knew how good he would be. But like I said, that isn't why I signed him. I signed him because he happened to fit the stats that we were looking at. And I actually normally would have shied away from it because I don't like this on the pivot player. But he came in, he did really well. He was excellent for us. Great player. Martin Paera, here we go. Another unknown. What we're going to get? Okay. The only thing that's not as good is dribbling. I thought it'd be like a Thiago Almada type player, which he isn't quite. So, yeah, okay. Fair enough. Definitely worth 850 grand, though. Good signing. Theo at left back, surely. Oh, he's actually pretty good. He's a little bit slower than I thought he would be, but he's actually not bad. It's definitely the role. The role and duty complete back attack. It's something to do with that. Why he played so bad. Latina. Oh, look at that. Yeah, good player. I'm happy with that signing. He'll definitely be with us this year, I think. I can't see myself selling him. He's a good solid right back, and he's a good solid backup right back for even if we aim a bit higher next year. So, yeah, he'll be with us next year. Our other left back, nah, not a fan of that. He's not too bad. If he was a championship left back, I'd say he's a good left back. He's a good championship left back, but because he's almost quick enough, he can dribble really well, he can cross, which is excellent, and he can just about tackle and mark, but Premier League, no. He's just not quite there, which is fine. But he was worth the money, he was worth the free transfer, you know. It was worth the gamble. But when I say no, not good enough, I mean going forwards. I mean, for this year, he was fine as a backup left back in our first season in the Prem, but Asper de Noor, he's a bit similar to the last player we just looked at. Yeah, he's about what I expected, I suppose, like a utility right back. Yeah, not worth the money. He's not worth his wages. 2.6. If I could get 2.6 back from him, I'd let him go, probably. Like, he's okay, but nah, nothing special. Now, the young player of the year at 24 years old, Nicolas Fernandez Mercal. Okay, he can't tackle, and he's not lightning. What I really like about this save is I'm using players that I know I just never would have signed if I didn't have this attributes turned off. So I do like that from that aspect. So he was pretty good. He was pretty good at being a utility player and coming in when needed. Like he played in that Watford game. Like when he was required, he was actually pretty good. He's not quite as good defensively as I thought he would be, but he can't really play left back. He's not quick enough, and he's not really good enough defensively to be like a pivot player for us. So I might let him go. But he was good for our first season. But just going forwards, it's probably reached his limit, and his journey with Barnsley is probably going to come to an end. But for £1.5 million, another steal for us. Yogo Kiros, he's okay. Like, he's not very quick, and his tackling of 12 is not great, but he's actually not bad for the rest of it. So he was definitely worth the 2.2 million, I think, that we signed him for. And if we can get 2.5 million for him to sell him, I would. I'm not going to keep him because he's a bit slow. It's not just because of that. Tackling 12, I never like that on centre back, so probably be leaving. Smadgley, a pretty good backup centre back. I'd say he's like a decent level championship centre back, or he's like your number 4 centre back in the Premier League in your first season with the promoted side. So I don't mind that at all. He's not bad. I wouldn't be in a rush to sell him. He's actually quite good. He's not very good technically, but he's a good defender, and that's good enough for me. And for 800 grand, that's another great signing from us. Love it. And the last couple of players here, Patrick Williams, centre back. He's not as quick as I thought he'd be. He's not bad technically. Do you know what I like about that though? Is all our centre backs offer something slightly different. Like he's the more mobile, much better on the ball. If you compare him to the player we just looked at, he's got dribbling, passing, vision, all that kind of stuff, whereas the other centre back doesn't. But he's not quite as good defensively. But I wish Patrick Williams was slightly quicker. If you're going to be that kind of centre back, be mobile, be agile, be quick as well. That's what I want from you. But probably hit the market value at 3 million. I wouldn't say we overspent on him, but I wouldn't say we got a good deal either. I'd say it's about right. So, yeah, we probably struck like a neutral score on that. The last but not least, goalkeeper Lumley. He looks better in his attributes than he played. What I need to figure out is which attributes is it that makes the goalkeepers underperform so badly, because he let in some absolutely awful goals. Position, I've always said, is important, I think, for that, and handling as well. So it could be that that's part of the issue, but I'd keep him as a backup for next year, 100%. I'm definitely going to get a goalkeeper in and try and get a first choice based on this. But he wasn't absolutely terrible. Just a couple of games he let us down, but he was pretty good. Other than that, last game, the absolutely crucial game against Watford, he was really good. I made some great saves, so I can't complain about him. So well done, Joe Lumley. Good lads. And that is our attributes reveal. Oh, okay, players out on loan. Forgot about that. So I've applied for work permits for a couple of the lads, and they got it rejected. So I then offered them a contract instead. So we'll see if that works. But let's have a look at them. So Aaron Donham is the left winger who is now we're going to use as a left back if we can. He's not as quick as I thought he was, but we spent 6 million on him. And if he gets his work permit, I'll play him as I think, really backup left back. In reality, if I could get something similar back for him, like 6 million back in for him instead, I'll take the money and let him go. If you're going to play left back in our back 4, and you're going to not have much positioning, not as much marking or tackling, at least you've got to then be quick. He's actually got pretty good stats. I think he's got it. He's got the kind of attributes here, the tackling, marking, and position, that you can get away with that with an attacking left back. That's a winger converted back, but then he's not really got the express pace though to go with it. So I'd probably let him go because of that, but I'd say we probably slightly overpaid for him. Pedro Santos. Now, he was a youngster who was scoring really highly whatever league he was in. He was hitting one of these divisions here in the 19s league. He was hitting across the board really well, and he had an unattached contract or a youth contract, so I signed him on a free. He's probably never going to get good enough, but it's worth a try. Thomas Jackson, now he came up through our youth system, so, you know, it's the first time I'd look at him. I loaned him out to Crawley. He's worth a lot of money. I've just offered him a new contract. Might loan him out once more, but he could be okay. Like, if he can get better defensively, that's important. Or he could be a left back. I don't know. We'll loan him out again and see if he gets any better. It looks all right. So this is a big one then. Rice. Now, again, I applied for a new work permit. It got rejected. So offer him a new contract. So we'll see if he gets one, a new contract. Now let's see how good he is. He could be a world-class player. He needs to get slightly quicker, which I think he naturally will because he's only 18. And if he can just work on his dribbling, finishing, and first touch, and go along with his pace, he'll be world-class. He could be like world class. So let's hope he gets a work permit. And we signed him because of the stats he was giving us in the Norwegian First Division. Was it last season? So I signed him anyway for 4 million, loaned him out. So that could be like, that's a game-changer Moneyball signing right there, that is. He's like the quick version of Erling Haaland. Like, he is brilliant. He could be brilliant. Like, if he stagnated his development, he ended up having those sort of stats, and he can't really dribble and he can't really finish, then he'll be okay. But he could go on to become really top level. Now, I really hope he gets a work permit, because I'll just start him next season as our starting striker and the right-hand slot, and he will just then be brilliant. And I'll teach him to beat the offside trap to go along with it. So I really hope he gets a new contract in a second. I might keep clicking through here at the end of this episode before we finish, so we can see if he gets one. What's interesting here is I'm just looking at the data hub here, and it says we are performing above average in defensive statistics. Okay, I'm not really sure how that is. So busy defense, impenetrable defense. So we're busy. We create a lot of chances against us, but we do keep a lot up. But then we still do concede a lot of goals because we just concede that many chances. So we by far have the leakiest defence, or the busiest defence, but it's also not the most leaky. Like, I think it means that Reading there don't concede quite as many chances, but they concede loads more goals. So we're right on the line there. So if you're going to be this busy, you don't want to be that side of the line, basically. So we want to get better at that. So ways to deal with that, I think we want to get better central fielders. I think we definitely want to get better defenders and goalkeepers, everything really. Tactics we could change, left back in particular. Our expected points was 42. We only finished on, 34? Can't remember, we finished on, I think it was 34. So we definitely underachieved quite a lot in our expected points. Our expected goals we were down on, and expected goals against we conceded one more. So that's interesting to look at. Okay, so this can be looked at as tactical as well as players, but if we assume that the tactic doesn't change too much, and we use this as a good guide for something, one thing that stands out to me is the amount of clearances per game. So we clear it quite a lot more per game. So what I think I want is some defenders that are slightly better in possession, so that when we get the ball, they don't just punt it clear. Our tackles-1 ratio, we make way more tackles than everybody else. We don't win as often. So if we can make a similar amount of tackle attempts, but then win a few more, so that's something to look out for next year, is fullbacks and central fielders that have good tackles-1 ratio. So if we're looking at two different central fielders that are like box-to-box players, and one is significantly better at winning tackles, I think we go with that player. That'll help us out a lot, I think, with our defensive problems. We get a lot more blocks per game. We create loads of more chances per game, which is interesting. Or we can see more chances per game, sorry. Another defending little section in the data hub, we've got that we make lots of blocks and lots of clearances. And obviously the top sides here have few blocks, few clearances because they dominate possession more. I think that we try and get this down a bit. So blocks is okay. I mean, ideally you don't want to actually have as many because you want to dominate the possession a little bit more. But lots of clearances we could do with getting down. We can control that a little bit by maybe a few tweaks to tactic, but players as well. Just one. So this is headers. So we got for fewer headers than the average, and we are poor at heading. Now that's really worrying. So that's another thing for us to note down is we definitely want more win ratio for tackles, maybe some for headers as well. Yeah, that's a little bit of a surprise. I thought it'd be good in the air, to be honest. Shooting, we have aggressive shooting and wasteful shooting at the same time. So you want to be on the clinical side no matter what happens. You want to be this side of the line. We're pretty much on the average here, by the looks of it. We're dead centre. But you want to be that side of the line. If you can, then you'll be the top half as well because you're getting lots of shots away as well. But maybe shooting isn't as bad of a problem. I feel like it was, but according to this, it's not. I will just finish off this episode with a quick look at some players. I'm just going to transfer listed first, if there's any like steals we can get in here. So if we change this to transfer to wingers, appearances at least 10, and dribbles per 90, we'll sort that by that. And let's just see who we get out of this. Okay, so this is like a good potential Moneyball signing here. Breno Lopez. Now, I don't know if he get a work permit. Would he get a work permit? No, he won't get a work permit. That's a shame. Because he plays in the Brazilian second division. And like, if he was a bit younger, so this is what I'm looking at, right? With the amount of money we've now got to spend, let's say Breno Lopez is a 22-year-old player at the second instead of being 28. And he can't get a work permit, but we can get him for like, I don't know, 2 million with a few kickbacks. What I'm thinking I'm going to start to do is bring those players in. If they fit our stats, we like what they bring to the table. We bring them in, we loan them out, and we try and apply work permits while they're away. Normally, sometimes that can just be enough to get their work permit accepted the next time round. But even if it doesn't, if you were to buy them like at the start of June when the window opens, you could probably do, I think, one application before the start of the season, before you have to register them. So you'll find out then if you can get them between that period. And if you can't, then what you do is you loan them out. You can try again, I think, around December. And if they can't get it again, that's 2 more attempts you get. If they don't get it again a second time, you can then offer them a new contract, which will automatically trigger another application for work permit. I think that if you could do all of that and they still don't get even on the work permit, that's when you can start to look to then just move off them and transfer, and then take the money for them, sell them, and go on to the next player. I think that's going to be an essential part of our strategy here, that we're going to have to work around this work permit issue, is that we bring them in anyway, loan them out, try and get work permits, and if we can't, then we sell them on and get the profit. It's a good part of our Moneyball strategy there. But we always bring them in with the intention to use them. We're not going to do a Chelsea thing here where we bring players in just to loan them out. We bring in players in to use them. If we just can't use them, that's when we'll move them out. That's what we're going to start doing. I think it's have to be an essential part, because really the Moneyball concept would probably be easier if you were to do it with a team that's within the EU, where you don't have as much of an issue with the restrictions and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's what we're going forwards anyway. And yeah, we'll look at that. But you know what? Let's go through it in the next episode, because I'll be able to have everything set up, ready to go. We can go on and have a look at the players in every position. And I'll make probably the next episode a all transfer, all data, all Moneyball episode, where I suppose this had some of the games and that in as well. That's going to be the episode. That's it. We managed to do it, managed to stay up in the division. There's a lot of content in this episode. I hope it's not too long. But if it is, one thing I have to do is I've broken up all the episodes into chapters, so you're able to find what you want from each episode, which I hope you enjoy, I guess, is the right word. But that's going to do it. Thank you very much for watching. Barnsley Football Club have survived in the Premier League. We'll be there next year, and we've got a lot of money to spend to make Moneyball the most effective strategy possible. Thanks for watching.